Hello and good afternoon to each and every one of you. I'm Pastor Desmond O'Neill, and today we have a review. We have a review. It is hurting my heart to see what is taking place in the world today and the devastation and real issues that are taking place in the world while others are just very happy, only concerned about themselves, what they can get, what they can achieve, what they want. In the meanwhile, other people are just having a really bad day. My thoughts and prayers go out to everyone who is having a real bad day today. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we're going to get into it in a little bit. All right, let's start the podcast.
Welcome to Pastor O'Neill's Review Zone podcast. We are glad that you decided to join us today. This podcast focuses on reviewing topics like movies, music videos, audio clips, and even relationships, so sit back and enjoy the show. Welcome to Pastor O'Neill's Review Zone.
All right, so good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are joining us from. Welcome to Pastor O'Neill's Review Zone. Today, we are going to be taking a look at the disaster in Maui, and we are going to juxtaposition that with the modern day dating. Seems like two completely opposites, but can we learn from each other? Is there a crossroads between these two seemingly distant uh, distant items? Is there a distance between what is taking place on the island of Maui and also what is happening in today's dating world? All right. And as I said before, for those who want to know, well, Pastor, why are you concerned about this? What is the interest? You should be seeing about other things. But I want you to know that the building block of any society is the family, and God intends for the family to be the base unit. God takes such pride in in the family that anything that tries to break it up, God brings judgment upon that. Women that were caught in adultery were to be stoned. Thank God for Jesus Christ. And likewise, not women, but men also, although you see an injustice taking place in the New Testament. All right. And that just goes to show you the high regard in which God holds the basic family unit, because God intends for the families to worship Him and to meditate upon His word. And it is out of the family unit that God actually works. Right? It is out of the family unit that God actually works. Out of the family unit, you have the priest for the home, you have the prophet for the home, the man. Out of the family unit, you have the whole idea of the teaching. God said that let the word of God be like frontlets before the eyes of your kids. Teach them when they go out, teach them when they come in, and that sort of thing. All right. So the basic of any society is the family. And today we have such a mess as it pertains to what a relationship is and actually starting a family. All right. And so today we want to take a look at what is taking place on the island of Maui. And just in case you don't know what is taking place on the island of Maui, I want to put together this clip that is going to help you understand what is taking place. Take a look at this.
Declaring Hawaii a disaster area as wildfires have torn through Maui, killing at least 36 people. This now clears the way for federal aid and recovery. Right now, the National Guard and local firefighters are trying to put out at least 7 individual wildfires in Hawaii. We are now seeing some of the heartbreaking images of just widespread destruction, the damage that is all across the island. Back here in Washington, many are concerned about friends and family who live on the island. Our sister station over in Seattle spoke with one woman who hasn't heard from her family in days.
Sometimes you wish you were at home. Not that you can do anything, but it's family there. If you call their cell phones right now, there's no cell service.
Officials say Lahaina's phone lines are all down right now as the fire ripped through parts of that city. Closer to home, a flight from Maui landed at SeaTac just this morning. Passengers on that flight spoke about what it was like on the island. One couple from Denver said they feel lucky to have gotten out safely, and they hope those who are still there will get the help they need.
We're so sorry, and that it's, nobody could have predicted this, and we hope that people step up and give help and that they're able to rebuild. And I hope people are okay. They're not okay, but I hope that they're able to get resources at least.
The fires are being fueled in part by Hurricane Dora, which is churning hundreds of miles south of Hawaii, but still the winds on Maui have reached more than 50 miles an hour. And as more resources pour in there, officials are fearing the death toll could continue to rise. CBS correspondent Billy V has the latest now from Honolulu.
The fire that roared through Maui's historic Lahaina town like a blowtorch has left devastation everywhere.
What we saw looked like an area that had been bombed and burned in a war zone.
Helicopter tour operator Richie Olston flew over the smoldering town.
There's hundreds of homes leveled down to the ground. The historic section of the town is destroyed. Even the boats in the harbor were burned down to the water. They're gone.
This is truly an all-hands-on-deck situation.
As the massive search and rescue effort is underway, officials fear the death toll will rise.
The primary focus is to save lives and to prevent human suffering and to mitigate great property loss.
The National Guard is dumping water on the fires, which are being fueled by low humidity, drought conditions, and whipping winds from a hurricane 700 miles away.
I'm going to make sure the state has everything it needs from the federal government to recover.
And now that President Biden has declared a major disaster, more federal help is on the way, but that's little solace to those who have lost everything.
Just down to the slab, nothing but smoke, cinders. Came with the clothes we got on and a dog and 2 kids. Here we are.
Shelters are packed with people who have nowhere else to go. This satellite image captures what Lahaina looked like before the fire and after. A once thriving community and lively tourist destination reduced to ashes. Billy V, CBS News, Honolulu.
All right, so there you have it. Quite a tragic situation happening there on the island of Maui. And whether you were visiting, whether you are a native there, whether you are an expatriate, an expat there, it is really and truly a devastating sight to see. And the global warming is not helping the situation. So we are seeing here, my friends, that this situation is really, really difficult. The United States president has ordered national relief and declared the area a disaster zone. That means that it is now entitled to federal relief. So they have help from the federal government pouring in, soldiers and a lot of first responders and so on. And it's really, really bad. Persons that had their homes, people that had their businesses, people that had their Airbnb, all gone. All gone. People that had set up supermarkets and pharmacies and gas stations and whatever local businesses, all gone. Banks gone. All right. And the thing is, disaster can strike at any time. And none of us are here to say, well, that would never happen to me. I'm very certain that the people that are in Maui right now were very, very certain that something like this would have never happened right now. You see, we don't know when something can happen. And that's why we need to put our trust in Almighty God. Because we don't know when a disaster like this is going to strike. So the global warming is not helping. The massive storm that is 700 kilometers away, sending wind. And because of the dryness of the atmosphere and so on, it has caused this brush fire to just be ravenous and devouring everything in its path. And you might be saying, well, how does this correlate to what is happening with the dating scene? Well, what is happening in the dating scene is simply that we like to take things for granted. We don't look forward, or we don't have the vision to see that things like what is happening in Maui could very well happen to us. By and large, the majority of us are very selfish in that we only are concerned with what I can get and what is happening to me. We are not concerned with what I can give. And so it has me questioning the whole issue of love. Love is no longer an element when it comes to dating. Love is no longer an element when it comes to choosing a mate or who we going to get married to. Love is no longer an element. It's all transactional. It's all a business deal. It's all it's like a conglomerate. One conglomerate is taking over a next one, and we sign the papers to that effect and that sort of thing. And love is no longer an element when it comes to choosing someone. So what you find happening is that people are only concerned about the high salary that a man is able to bring. Some people are only concerned about their financial stability. And so we are not looking at all that with all the finances that we have, that in the blink of an eye, in the twinkling of an eye, it can all be gone. In the Bible, there was such thing that happened to a man by the name of Job. Job had everything. He would have been considered a multi-millionaire, a high-value man by today's standards. All right. Job had so much of money that he would give to his daughters and give to his sons, and whatever they needed, they didn't have to work. He had servants, and he had servants over servants, and he had camels and goats and oxen, and the guy was rich, man. And in the blink of an eye, he lost everything. Let me ask the woman, and you might find me coming into the woman more because here's the thing: by and large, men are still providers, protectors. You have the nuances, and you will always have the nuances of men who don't know their value and men who don't know their worth. And so you'll find that these men, those are the nuances. But by and large, men are the protectors, men are the providers. So by and large, the men are actually fulfilling God's purpose, God's plan for us to be providing, for us to be protecting, for us to be visionaries, for us to leave a legacy and replenish the earth and that kind of thing. But the women, on the other hand, especially due to modern day feminism, the women are no longer seeking to be what God has created them to be, which is a helpmate. They are no longer willing to work together with a man to build and establish something, build and establish a family, build and establish a business. The modern day woman does not want that. What you find the modern day woman wanting is that they want somebody who can provide for them, and they stand basically at the finish line to pick the winners. The modern day woman does not want to work to do anything. If she has to work at all, whatever she's bringing to the table is minor. If she has to work to help the family in any way, she only wants to contribute either 10 or 20, maybe 30% for the most. So the guy has to bring the lion's share. And if something like what is taking place in Maui only happens, well, God forbid, let's take a look at what the modern women are
Comfortable,
doing
like staying at
these
home
days.
and not working. I feel like this is going to sound bad. I feel like for me to be comfortable, like staying at home and not working, I feel like this is going to sound bad. I feel like 300,000. I guess if they made less than that, I feel like we wouldn't have the lifestyle I wanted, so I would work.
And what lifestyle is that?
Anywhere from 70 to 100K.
$500,000. I know that 1% of men make $500,000, or like less than 1% of men or something.
Probably 150 to $250,000 a year.
If your wife can spend more than you make, like you need to make more money. So it really just depends. 150 maybe to 250,000 a year would be comfortable for sure.
How can you ask for equality and also promote such a parasitic lifestyle at the same time?
Ideally, my husband needs to be making like 650,000. If I was making significantly less than a partner, it would make me feel insecure, like I wasn't on the same level as them. Not that I'm trying to like be super equal with my partner.
All right. So there you see basically not just one, not just two, not just one particular ethnicity, but by and large, a cross section of today's modern women want everything handed down to them. The man has to be making, not, listen, they ain't looking at 50,000, which is really the average, 50,000 a year, which actually boils down to 4,000 plus a month, which is the average salary, which most men actually make, right? That's the general population. Most men will actually make that, unless, of course, they end up into some get rich scheme, winning the lotto or something like that. And that still is not the average person. All right. So by and large, the average man makes around 5,000, between $4,000 to $5,000 a month, which breaks it down to between $48,000 to $60,000 a year. That is the average. But as you saw from the clip, these women do not want average men. They're not willing to work with an average man. That is the salary. They're not willing to say, hey, let's put this business idea together. Let's work at it. Let's establish a pharmacy, a grocery. Let's work together. Let's build something together. We're not looking at that. And if you tell people, or if you speak to couples about working together, the first thing that comes to their mind is that what if he leaves me tomorrow? What if she leaves me tomorrow? So in other words, people operate out of fear. People are operating out of fear. And so this dire need for the modern woman today to be wanting 500,000, 650,000, everyone say 500,000, which is 500,000 that the man has got to make. Listen, these women are delusional, and it is not impossible, but these are all average looking women in any case. So I am going to say it is impossible for them to find somebody like that. Do women get somebody like that? Yes, it is it the rule though. That is what we have to understand. And so what I am saying here is that the average modern day woman is quite delusional into thinking that their partner is whoever they deem or whoever they want is going to be making this kind of money. It have men that do make this kind of money, but they are in the rare 1 or 2% for the most worldwide. They are in the rare where the air is rare, they are in the rare minority. And so you find that between all of the average women and even the high value women, and I'm not talking about women that make similar money and that kind of thing. Those are not the high value women. I'm talking about sex appeal. I'm talking about submissiveness. I'm talking about the willing to work together with a man. All right. You have all of these women coming together now, and all of them are looking for that 1%. So we have the issue now of all of these women want these men to provide all of these things. They are not willing to work together. And so if they are not willing to work together with the man, my question is, if, let me just say, you are married, you get your heart's desire, the man is making 500,000, and now that you are married, you're in the situation like what has happened on the island of Maui. You're in that situation, and the man loses all of his investment. He loses all of his property, and now he is less than the average man. What are modern day women going to do? That's the question. Because we have been, I don't know where this teaching is coming from, but who is teaching our women that they are esteeming money and finances higher than a person? They are rating money and finances more than they rate integrity. They are rating money and finances more than they would rate personalities, a person with vision, a person who loves God and will pray for you instead of trying to beat you up and do all manner of things against you and that sort of a thing. So that is what what we find happening. And if you would refer back to my previous podcast, I would have said that the spirit of harlotry. And if you don't know what a harlot is, a harlot is simply a prostitute. So what we have today in today's world is that we have the prostitute type mindset that is actually governing dating, marriage, and relationships, and it's a spirit that is in the world. And I'm just trying my best here to highlight to us that we are growing up our young women basically to be prostitutes. And people will not agree with me, but basically that's what it is. Because a prostitute is a prostitute will not fall in love with the person that she's interested in. It is impossible. That's their job. And although you will find plenty of them saying that it's hard for them to find love, which man on the face of the earth is going to marry a prostitute or a harlot? So we have this mindset now permeating the minds of our young women, and you have the majority of men these days remaining sexless, remaining without proper relationships, that will possibly die alone, while all these women are now lumping on one side and they are seeking the 1% of men instead of giving the average Joes the chance. That's the problem that we find. What can we learn from this Maui situation here? The Maui situation is telling us that disaster can strike us at any given time. And when the money is gone, and when all of the business is gone, and all you remain with, as a guy was saying, is the shirt on your back, how are you then going to cope? What lifestyle are you talking about when everything is gone? You see, we have become so spoiled by the same men that most women talk all manner of things against. We have built a society where people have now become spoiled in the sense that no woman wants to work again. She wants to have everything laid down. She doesn't even want to do the dishes or wash clothes. She finds that that is a demeaning task. She don't wash the dishes. One of those rap songs, I don't cook, I don't clean, but I have the ring and all of that. And what are you giving to the man? What are you giving to him? All you want to do is to sit down there, look good, and spend money. What kind of lifestyle is that? There's no love. And if the man wants any type of affection, you have some issues because you didn't really love him in the first place. You wanted a lifestyle. You wanted a lifestyle. You wanted just a way in which you can get the bag, quote unquote. But my friends, I am telling us today that it only takes a twinkling of an eye for everything that you have to be lost. The people in Maui are suffering the situation right now. And as I said, my thoughts and my prayers go out to all those who have lost loved ones and families and friends. You know, I'm going to be continuing to pray for each and every one of you that help will arrive and whatever we can do here in Trinidad to help the situation. Although I think that the United States have it covered, but whatever we can do to help, if there's a greater need and a greater help, of course, we're gonna try to do our part. But what I am saying here is, when you have lost everything, my friends, all you're going to remain with is love. And if you don't have love, you're just like sounding brass and tinkling cymbal. 1 Corinthians chapter number 13. If you give your body to be burnt and you don't have love, it profits nothing. And so for the modern day woman that only seeking money and finances and a certain lifestyle, that is not love. I heard a prominent psychologist right now making her wrongs on YouTube, and a lot of people like what she's saying. All right, but she's saying that men should not be supporting that type of lifestyle, and I agree with her. But the problem that we have is in that this modern day society, the women are the ones who choose who they want to get involved with. The women are the ones who choose who they want to get involved with. And the women are not choosing the average Joes. The women are not looking for the average guy. The women are not looking for that. They are looking for the guys who are making 1% finances. They are looking for the guys who can carry them on trips, who can fly them all over the world, who can bring them here, bring them there. They're looking for the men who can fly them to Paris and buy them a Gucci bag. They are looking for the men who can fly them out to exotic destinations, Seychelles and the Maldives and all of these exotic locations. That's what the modern day women are looking for. But listen to me, it is a pie in the sky. And many women are reaching what is proverbially called now the wall. When you had your time of fun, your hot girl summer and all of that, you had your time of fun, and now you're looking for a real relationship after you have been spent worse than a Visa card. Now you're looking for a relationship and then have the audacity to say that there aren't any good men. Where are all the good men gone? When you're young, it's very easy to have all your standards all up the way up there, and you're looking for the 500,000 and the 650,000 and so on to support you. But as the years tick on and you recognize that your biological clock, you will see how far those expectations begin to drop as you recognize that what you are actually looking for is a pie in the sky. What you actually was looking for was quite delusional. What you were actually looking for was not real. It's a fantasy that only very few people get to realize in their lives. So what's my advice? My advice is stop running down fantasies. Stop running down, the proverbial pot at the end of the rainbow. It does not exist. But instead, come back to what God has originally ordained for you, which is to be a helpmeet. Which means that your responsibility as a woman is to fall under the vision of that man and be a support, be a complement to that man. How many people today are teaching women or telling women to be a complement to their husbands, or to see a man that has potential and work together with him? You're not seeing that. You have a lot of these rhetorics that are going about here. All right. So that is my small little thought on the matter. I want to hear what you have to say in the comments. Put it in the comment section. I want to hear what are your thoughts. I want to know if you agree with me or not. And let's have a conversation on the matter. Because once you are out of God's will, and it isn't me saying this, once you are out of God's will, then how do we expect things to go good? How do we expect our lives to go good? Look at the many marriages that are falling apart these days. All right? You have people only concerned about themselves, only concerned about what they can get. What are they bringing to the table besides sex? Can a man depend on you to be a stability in his life, to be his peace, to be his confidant, to be his complement, to help him in areas where he is weak, and not you saying that this man is a good for nothing? Look what I have to do. Why do you think you were created in the first place? Just to look good? We have so much to talk about and so little time. Out of time, but are definitely not out of word. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Put it in the comments, good, bad, or indifferent. Let's have a conversation on the matter. Can we learn from the disaster in Maui? The fact is, what happened in Maui could happen to any one of us, any part of the world, at any given time. Then you're going to recognize that the finances that we're running down doesn't matter. The only thing that will matter is love. At the end of the day, love is the only thing shall remain. The Bible tells us that everything else was going to pass away, but only three will remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. That's 1 Corinthians chapter number 13. Have a look at it. Let's have a conversation. This is Pastor Desmond O'Neill. I thank you all for looking at Pastor O'Neill's Review Zone. Let's have a conversation. Put what you like, what you think on the matter, what you think on the issue down in the comment section. Let's have a conversation on it. All right. So have a good day, everyone. Take care. And remember, at the end of the day, love is what will remain. Be strong in the Lord and the power of his might. Until we meet again later, God bless you.